I'ma make you remember. I can't believe you got somebody up in here. You gonna make me catch a case before I gotta go to work? Where you going? Nowhere.
Good for you, babe. I was every woman and I never would have played you, but too bad. Still thinking you got control of what you let us do? My pen is equally incredible.
Let's talk about the Philly rapper who gave us bars, attitude, style, and yes, even a couple of Hollywood plot twists. You know her, you love her. You wanted those paw print tattoos in high school because of her. Don't lie. We're talking about the one and only Eve. She went from spitting fire with the Rough Riders to starring in blockbusters like Barbershop.
Who drank my apple juice?
Triple X.
Since when did you care so much about money?
Look, I just need you to lay low till the heat's off, okay?
And even getting deep in The Woodsman.
You won't taste a better chicken salad in town.
I said no, thank you.
Sis was out here collecting checks from studios and the streets. But behind the glam, the Grammys, and the growl, you know the one. There's a whole lot you probably didn't know. From near-career walkouts to secret industry drama to dating a dictator's son. Yes, we're going there. This is 12 shocking things you didn't know about Eve. Buckle up because we're spilling all this tea. Stick around for 2 bonus shockers at the end. It'll have you like, y'all ready for this? She was born November 10th, 1978 in Philadelphia as Eve Jahan Jeffers. Eve Jeffers sounds like she should be running a Fortune 500 company. Not battling bars with DMX, right? Like, hi, I'm Ms. Jeffers, and I'll be handling your audit today. But don't get it twisted, sis can run the boardroom and the studio, no problem. And then, bam! She marries British billionaire bae Maximilian Cooper. Yes, billionaire. And suddenly, it's Eve Jahan Cooper. So now she's not just the first lady of Rough Riders, she's Lady Luxury too. Eve had a very brief, shall we say, entrepreneurial phase. You know, before the Grammys and the acting gigs. Yeah, honey, we're talking about her time as an exotic dancer. 18 years old, trying to make it happen, and let's just say the struggle was real. Yup, before she was spitting bars with DMX and riding motorcycles in videos, Eve was dancing under the name Gangsta. But here's the tea. Eve wasn't your average dancer. Apparently, she was the laziest stripper ever. Like, she couldn't be bothered with the pole. Instead of, doing the actual job, she was rapping for tips. Can you imagine tipping a stripper for spitting bars?
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Only Eve.
Actually, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
And get this, Mace himself was like, girl, you're too talented for this. He basically told her to ditch the dancing and chase her dreams. Talk about a divine intervention. So she hung up the heels, grabbed the mic, and the rest is history. From the club stage to the music stage, that's a come up. Fame ain't all champagne and red carpets, y'all. Apparently our girl Eve was battling some serious nerves back in the day. Yup, for Eve, fame came with a side of panic attacks. Sis was out here dropping hits and trying not to pass out from anxiety at the same time. She was so stressed, she had to get the chill pills. Can you imagine? The queen of confidence needing a little extra something to keep her cool? It's a reminder, being famous ain't all red carpets, private jets, and free designer bags.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti.
Sometimes it's therapy, deep breathing, and praying your wig stays on through the stress. Did you know our girl Eve was supposed to be Dr. Dre's protege? Like, picture that. Dre, the mastermind, and Eve, the rising queen, all ready to drop some fire. But crickets. Nothing. No album, no hits. Just poof. Gone. Like a ghost in the studio. Talk about a plot twist. Yeah, whispers say Eve was dropped like a hot coal to make room for the new kid on the block, Eminem. But Eve ain't one to be kept down. She bounced right back, landed with Rough Riders, and became their first lady. Can you imagine Dre kicking himself like, I let that one slip away?
Great, I was wrong. I'm wrong. Is everyone happy?
From Aftermath's Almost Was to Rough Riders royalty, total come up. When Eve dropped her debut album, Let There Be Eve, Rough Riders' first lady, she didn't just come to play. She came to snatch wigs and make Billboard history. She became the third female rapper ever to hit #1 on the Billboard 200. The third. Right up there with legends like Lauryn Hill and Foxy Brown. That's VIP status, okay?
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
And let's be real, Eve wasn't just rapping. She was repping for the girls in a male-dominated crew and still rose to the top. First lady? Nah, she was the whole empire. So the day Eve dropped her debut album, Jay-Z hit her up with a congrats, but had to add a little buzzkill. He was like, don't get too discouraged if it doesn't do well. You know, female rap albums usually don't. Excuse me?
What did you say? What did you just say?
What did that just mean?
Did you just shade her and call it encouragement? But Eve? Oh, she didn't cry in the limo. She took that comment, sprinkled a little motivation on it, and went platinum, baby. Jay might have meant well, but she made sure he and the whole industry ate those words with a Rough Riders beat playing in the background. Period. Aw yes, Eve kept it real personal with her second album, Scorpion. And no, it wasn't just a cool sounding title. Sis is a full-blown Scorpio, okay?
One of my favorite signs ever, Scorpios.
Mysterious, intense, low-key savage, it tracks. She basically said, let me put my whole zodiac energy on this record. And it showed. From the fiery lyrics to that iconic collab with Gwen Stefani, the Scorpio vibes were stinging. Back in the early 2000s, Eve was dating producer and professional drama magnate Stevie J. And when things went south and they broke up, he went real low and leaked an intimate tape of the two of them.
Oh no, he didn't.
Yep, that happened. Talk about a low blow. But Eve, she handled it like the queen she is. She basically said, I ain't watching that mess, and I ain't letting it define me.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Baby, she took the high road in heels. While Stevie was out here doing the absolute most, Eve was out here building a legacy. We call that class with a capital C. Period. Now, this is the type of music industry shade we don't love. So picture this. Eve lent her vocals to the Roots' iconic track, You Got Me, the one that went on to win a Grammy, and guess what? Sis didn't even get an official credit. Excuse me?
I don't know
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that.
Like, how you gonna have Eve on the track and act like she's background noise? Make it make sense. Thankfully, years later, Questlove publicly acknowledged the oversight, but still, it's giving undervalued legend. But don't you worry, our girl got her own gold.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
In 2002, Eve did get her flowers and a Grammy for Let Me Blow Your Mind with Gwen Stefani. First ever winner in the Best Rap Song Collab category. Yeah.
To that I say, all right, all right, all right.
They had no choice but to recognize greatness that time. Hold on to your edges because this one's wild. Back in the early 2000s, Eve was romantically linked to Teodorin Ngema Obiang, aka the son of a literal dictator from Equatorial Guinea. Yup, we're talking political power, luxury, controversy, the whole scandalous package. The relationship definitely raised some eyebrows, especially given his family's super questionable track record. Like, sis, were you dating a man or a walking headline?
You're not my dad!
But our girl Eve is no stranger to leveling up. That chapter closed, stamped, filed under, oops, we all dated a red flag once.
And
But then came the real love story with a side of racism. Flash forward to 2014 and Eve found her true king in British entrepreneur Maximilian Cooper. And while their relationship is given Black excellence meets British billionaire, not everyone was here for it. Eve kept it real. She faced racist backlash when they went public. Ignorant DMs, hateful comments, the whole nine. But did she let that stop her love story? Not even a little bit. Instead, she married her man, built a beautiful life, and welcomed their adorable son, Wild. Now that's what you call a plot twist with a happy ending. She's also a super stepmom. When she married Maximilian Cooper, she didn't just get a husband, she got a whole crew. Lotus, Jagger, Cash, and Minnie. 4 bonus kids. And let me tell you, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Eve has spoken openly about the challenges and rewards of adjusting to her role as a stepmom. It took time, patience, and a whole lot of love. But now she calls them her bonus children. How sweet is that? While filming her sitcom, Eve,
Milk in the grande, but not the vente grande or the vente.
our girl was silently going through one of the hardest things a woman can face, an ectopic pregnancy. She opened up about the experience years later in her memoir, Who's That Girl? And y'all, the strength it must have taken to share that, unmatched. Imagine being in front of the cameras, making people laugh, while behind the scenes, you're carrying that kind of pain. It just shows. Eve is more than a rapper, actress, and icon. She's a warrior. Period. Speaking of the sitcom that gave us fashion, friendship, and peak early 2000s energy, yes, we're talking about Eve the show, not just Eve the person. From 2003 to 2006,
Next, we have Shelly W. modeling one of our sexy diva style design originals. Doesn't she look fat?
Eve played a fly Miami fashion designer trying to navigate love, life, and wild besties. And honestly, it was so ahead of its time. But then, boom, canceled after just 3 seasons. Like, who made that decision? We just want to talk.
I just want to talk to him.
Even though it didn't get the long run it deserved, the show still lives rent-free in our hearts and in reruns. Fans still bring it up like, why didn't we get more seasons, though? Can you imagine a world where Eve walked away from rap before we got Who's That Girl or Let Me Blow Your Mind?
Oh dear, where am I smelling sauce? I think I should faint.
Girl, don't even joke like that.
I've been so stressed about that.
But believe it or not, Eve seriously considered quitting hip-hop altogether. Being one of the very few women in the game back then, woohoo, it wasn't all glitz and glam. It was straight up exhausting, constantly overlooked, underestimated, and surrounded by ego-filled studios full of dudes who didn't always take her seriously. But instead of backing down, Eve flipped the script, taking all that doubt and turned it into motivation. The result, she didn't just stay in the game, she ran it. Let's be real, when you think of Eve, you instantly picture those iconic paw print tattoos on her chest, right? They weren't just tattoos. They were a moment, a whole era, a fashion statement, a vibe. But get this, Eve got them on a dare when she was younger.
I dare ya.
Just wilding out, living her best rebellious life, and when her mom saw them, woo child, she was not having it. Sis called them the tackiest thing I've ever seen and seriously questioned all of Eve's life choices in that moment. Fast forward a few years, Eve started thinking about maybe removing them. You know, stepping away from the spotlight, maturing her look. But guess who flipped the script? Her mom. She said, "That's how people know you." That one line made Eve pause. And she realized those paw prints had become part of her legacy. Now, she loves how they faded and evolved with her. Just like her music, just like her journey. From strip clubs to red carpets, from Rough Riders to royal weddings, Eve's journey has been nothing short of iconic. The now 46-year-old has battled anxiety, dodged drama, clapped back with class, and came out the other side looking like $1 billion. Literally. Hi, Maximilian. Speaking of millions, her net worth is estimated at about $25 million. I mean, whether she was dropping bars, serving looks, or starring on your screen, Eve proved she's not just the pit bull in a skirt. She's a whole boss in heels, period. So the next time someone tries to play like Eve was just a feature queen or a 2000s moment, kindly remind them she made history, stayed booked, and never broke character.